Hello journeyers. Okay, now we've got the mic on. And welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for stopping by and visiting. And I have a new deck I'm going to do a walkthrough of. This is just out from Baba Studios, the Mythical Creatures Tarot. And this is the colored version, and I have in front of me the standard size. They had originally done a black and white version of this, a very limited edition. Let's see if I can get it out here real quick. So it came in all this glorious little bag. And it's pretty stunning, but when this came out, I guess everybody was like clamoring for a colored version, and so they have obliged us and done just that. And I am still waiting for the larger limited edition colored version, but they ran into a problem with the printer. The printer couldn't get the cold stamping, the cold metallic stamping that they wanted done right, and I guess it turned into a huge hairball for them, and they ultimately had to go find a different printer, so that's been set back a little bit, but that's fine. The standard is now available, and so I could not wait, so I went ahead and ordered that, even though I ordered the large limited edition sometime last summer. Anyway, so this thing, it took about a week to get here from Ireland, which was just phenomenal. So let me set my precious limited edition off to the side here for a minute. And we will get into this. And I had to have this bag. Oh my God. I may actually store my last unicorn tarot in this if I ever take it out of the house, although that's highly unlikely. So here is the beautiful box, and as you can see, they've added gold foil, the cold stamping detailing, even to the front cover. And it's got kind of, I guess, their trademark sort of gold foil stamping. Oh, excuse me for a second, my cat's having a fit. Be right back. Okay, all better. So yeah, it's, like I said, the box has their... This is kind of becoming their trademark on their boxes. The Victorian Romantic has the same kind of thing. And the deck was, let's see, it's by Karen Mahoney, Alex Ukolov, and the art was actually done by a Russian artist named Elena Kozachuk. It's kind of hard to see there. So, and I have made, and I also got the book that goes with it. And as you can see, I have flagged many of the pages of little highlights I'd like to mention as I go through. It is just chock full of information. And it's just so much in here. The authors of the book are actually Karen Mahoney and Kathleen Matthews, who I'm sure many of you are very familiar with. She's done a lot of books on the, she did the Complete Arthurian Tarot, the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot, Untold Tarot, The Lost Art of Reading Ancient Tarots, which I have, which is how to read Tarot de Marseille cards. So Kathleen has contributed, she wrote the Tarot de Marseille parts of this book, and the Rider-Waite-Smith and more general parts are by Karen Mahoney. So it goes into a lot of the background of the deck, how to read with the tarot cards, preparation, shuffling, interpreting, and reading, using spreads. They talk about 1-card spread, some suggestions for 3-card spreads. There's a couple of 5-card spreads, and then the Prague Threshold spread, which was developed for their first tarot deck, the Tarot of Prague. So that's in here. And it's got some sample readings. And then this spread known as the Pegasus wings spread, was specifically developed by Kathleen Matthews for this deck. And it's got another sample reading. This is the Norns lot spread. The Norns are featured in the deck as well. Let's see what else. So Karen Mahoney is the author of the main parts of the book, including all the Rider-Waite-Smith keywords and meanings. Kathleen Matthews kindly wrote the Tarot de Marseille words and meanings, as she is adept with reading Tarot de Marseille style decks. In some places in the book we have shown where the remarks are by Kathleen rather than Karen. So, and she's got, Kathleen Matthews wrote several pages in here. And then it gets into the cards, and all the cards have Rider-Waite-Smith meanings, reversed, Tarot de Marseille reversed, and then specific mythical creatures meanings as well. So let's see, I think that's, and then they give illustrations for a lot of the inspirations for the cards and some of the older art that they drew on for this. Karen designed it. This picture here is by an artist, a Victorian artist named Richard Dickey Doyle, who I mentioned in my walkthrough of the fairy tarots, which I'll link a card up here somewhere if you want to take a look at that and learn a little bit more about him and see more of his work. And then let's see, what did I flag back here? What was this about? Oh, okay, so when we get to the Harpy, I'll dig into that. So anyway, let's take a look at the cards. Get your standard little white book inside. And the title card. And get these guys out. Oops. The box has a nice colored lining paper. Let's see if we can make a little room here. That was just an extra little card they threw in. Alrighty, so that's the backs, and these are a little bit larger than a standard tarot deck, and I had meant to drag one over here with me and did not. So it's just about 3 1/16 inch wide by just about 5 inches tall. So it is a little bit longer, a little teensy bit wider than a standard deck. It's got this weird little bow in the cards. I don't know why that. Hopefully that'll shuffle out eventually. So here we go. Let's zoom in a teeny bit if we can. I'm trying to get the light so it doesn't blow it out totally, but I wanted to show the cold foil stamping. Let's see. So the Fool is known as Amadon Dove, who is a trickster, the Black Fool, the Dark Fool, one of the one of the fairy people. Let's see if I turn that off, if we can still, I don't know. I think that's a little too dark. About as low as I can get. There are no numbers on the majors. You can see, I hope it's not just glaring. And the High Priestess is the Sphinx. The Empress is the fairy queen. And they go into such detailed descriptions in the book on all these cards, like alluring but unpredictable, magical, enchanting woman, a woman who may take you with her into her own world. Like all fairies, she can be either benevolent, like Queen Mab, or malevolent, like the fairy queen in the Tale of Tam Lin. I'll try not to be here all night with this, but oh my god, there is so much information in the book. The Emperor is the Minotaur from Crete, from King Minos. The Hierophant is Chiron the Centaur, who was a great teacher. The Lovers, a knight and a mermaid. Oh, this is so beautiful. The Chariot is Poseidon. This was an interesting one. I had to look this up. Since they are unnumbered, you can put strength and justice wherever you want. Strength is a white cockerel, which in northern England and Scotland is said to be able to repulse evil and even natural phenomena like meteors. So, and then the Hermit is a dragon with its hoard. Shows some of the occult stamping here. The Wheel of Fortune is the Norns, sitting at the foot of the World Tree, Yggdrasil. Gorgeous. Justice is a harpy, which may seem like a strange choice, but according to the book, okay, so I put it back in the deck like in the Rider-Waite-Smith's progression, as if it was 11, and they have it in the book as number 8. So the Harpeia, the original harpies, were largely positive figures in the early Greek mythologies. The Greek poet Hesiod called them lovely-haired women, half bird, half woman, and sisters of Iris, the goddess of the rainbow. As such, they were envoys of the gods, and their task was to capture oath-breakers and bring them to the Erinyes, three goddesses of vengeance, whose Roman equivalent were the Furies, for punishment. So that explains that. So much I did not know about these. The Hanged Man is a mandrake. Let's see. And they were said to live like in suspended animation under the ground until you dug them up, at which time they would start screaming and kill anyone who heard them. Death is a basilisk, which I'm sure people are familiar with, at least from Harry Potter. And kill you with a glance. Temperance is a two-headed, whoops, where did I put it? Rebus. It's a culmination of an alchemical process. It's the fusion of sun and moon and male and female. So if you've studied alchemy at all, you're probably already familiar with that. The Devil, a lovely vampire. He's holding a chain which he has wrapped around this woman, symbolic of his hold on her. Love me some vampires. The Tower, we have the Kraken. Release the Kraken. They would spring up out of the sea unexpectedly and swallow ships and men and whales and anything else that got in their way, and then go back down and wait for the next one. So a very apt metaphor for the tower, striking out of nowhere. Oh, and the star. Oh my goodness, yes. So this is the image on the bag that I got. So gorgeous. And they are a symbol of hope and innocence in a cruel world. Just beautiful. Oh. On the moon we have a werewolf. The sun is the firebird. Reputedly, one of his tail feathers could light up a room. God, the detail in this is just extraordinary. And then we have our phoenix for judgment. And the Ouroboros for the world, signifying completion and eternal unity. And then the minors are basically pips, but incredibly ornate pips. And some of them do have a little bit more to them, a little bit of a nod to the Rider-Waite-Smith system, for those who like that. But I think you could easily get used to reading with these. Just gorgeous. See those little flashes of the cold foil stamping. Lots of fiery dragons in the wands. So the suit attributions are all standard. Wands are fire, cups are water, swords are air, and pentacles are earth. The court cards are a little more illustrated, which is typical even of Tarot de Marseille decks. How's that for a King of Wands? This Ace of Cups. The Melusine at the bottom, the double-tailed mermaid. So gorgeous. And to my detriment, I've been taking my glasses off and don't know where I set them. Oh, here they are. Hang on. Lots of sea creatures on these. More mermaids. Cold stamping on every card. It's just, oh, so beautiful. Like I said, there is so much information in the book. I barely scratched the surface in the book, but absolutely fascinating stuff. Page of Cups. Knight. Look at this Queen. I think they have a bag with this image on it if anybody is interested. And this deck is still available, but not at the pre-order price anymore. I caught it like at the 11th hour before they got rid of the pre-order reduced pricing. The Ace of Swords. I'm not rushing through these pips because they are so beautiful. Like here, the Three of Swords, we've got this kind of echo of the Rider-Waite-Smith, the 3 with the heart. Oh, this is so beautiful. Look at this. I guess we'll be here all night if I sit and stare at every single card. Not like I haven't already been through the deck a couple of times. Eight of Swords. So you can kind of see again, she's kind of in between all the swords, so you kind of get that feeling from the Rider-Waite-Smith of being the woman being surrounded by the swords. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. Jeez. The Pegasus. I did not look up the Queen of Swords. I don't know if she's a particular mythological creature. I suspect she is, but I won't bog down and go back to the book looking for that just now. A Griffin for the King. Ace of Pentacles. Every time I look at this deck, it just becomes more and more amazing. I see more and more detail. It's absolutely incredible. And 10 of Coins, you've got like the little family here. Everything's bearing fruit. Satyr for the Night. And the King. And then, as a little bonus, they added an extra Three of Cups card, which is much more Rider-Waite-Smith styled. And, you know, obviously do whatever you like with it. You can put it in the deck and read with it, or use it as a bookmark, or frame it, or whatever you like. Isn't that beautiful? God. So absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous deck. So glad I got it. Said it is still available, but it is not cheap. But I will put all the links below to Baba Studio and Kathleen Matthews' site, if anybody is interested. And, oops. Just over the moon with this deck. Just absolutely stunning. So there we have it, our Mythical Creatures. And so if you do get the deck, I think the book is not very much money. It's like $20. I know it wasn't more than $20. Totally worth it for all the information that's packed in there. It's just really excellent. So thanks so much for watching, and I will be back very soon as I have a couple more that I want to do, which will not be as long, I promise. So if you've stuck it out this far, thanks so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And I will talk to you soon. Blessed be.